Hi friends, today we're going to do a fun science experiment called the walking rainbow. If you want to do this at home with me, you definitely can, but you're going to need a few things. If you want to do it at home, you're going to need some type of cups or jars. For this experiment, you will need 6 of them. I'm using mason jars so you can see through them. Clear is a little bit easier to see, but if you don't have that, you can use any type of cup that you have at home. We're going to be filling some of the cups with water, so you'll need a little bit of water. You'll also need 6 paper towels. They don't have to be whole paper towels, they can be pieces. I have a few here that I'm going to tear into smaller pieces, so you can do that as well. The last thing that you're going to need in this part you will want to have a grown-up for is some food coloring. We're going to be adding that to water. You're definitely going to want a grown-up to help with that, and if you're able to wear some type of gloves, it makes it so it doesn't get on your hands. So today for food coloring, I have blue, I have red, and I have yellow. For our science experiment, the walking rainbow, what we're going to see is we're going to make some of the jars in a little bit different colors, and what we're hoping will happen is the water is going to travel around and mix together and make some different colors. So this science experiment is an observation. We're not really going to make a hypothesis, but we're going to watch what happens, and it's something that you can watch change for a few hours or even overnight if you're able to let it stay for a little bit. To do this experiment, to set it up, we're going to do a few things. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to fill some of the jars with water, but not all of them. I have 6 jars here, and I'm going to fill 3 of them with a little bit of water. So I'm going to do that now. If you're doing it with me, you can start filling your jars too. So I filled my jars about this much with water. So if you have cups almost all the way full, but not totally full. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my cups in a circle. So I'm going to take my 3 with water first and kind of put them in a triangle shape. And then in between, I'm going to add an empty jar. So they're all kind of in a circle. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. And I'll tell you the pattern that mine are in. So here I have water, empty, water, empty, water, empty. So just make sure there's an empty jar between your water. The next thing we're going to do is use the food coloring. So this is the part where you want to grab a grown-up. And we're going to start with red. And I'm going to fill one of the jars that has water with a little bit of red. So I'm going to drop in a few drops. Maybe 4. And then I'm going to swirl it around so it mixes in there. And you can see that it's starting to change to the color red. And so here's my red jar right in the front. Now I'm going to leave the next jar empty, and I'm going to go to the next one with water. And in the next one with water, I'm going to add yellow. So I did 4 red, I'll do 4 yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to swirl this around too until it turns yellow. If you have a spoon or a knife, you can always mix it up too. I might grab a spoon to do that one. Mix it up a little bit easier. There we go. That's a nice yellow color. So now I have my yellow one here. So it goes red, empty, yellow, empty. Then my next one with water over here, I'm going to add 4 drops of blue. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those came out a little faster. There we go, 4. And then I'll mix this one up. You can swirl it or stir it till it turns a nice blue color. So now the order of my jars from the front, I have red, empty, yellow, empty, blue, empty. Now the last thing we need to do to set up this experiment is add our paper towels, and you'll need 6 pieces of a paper towel. It doesn't have to be a whole paper towel. I'm even going to tear some of mine in half just to save them. Now what you're going to do here, and you can fold them up a little bit too, I kind of fold mine in half to make it work a little easier, is you're going to stick one end of your paper towel into the red jar first like this so it gets nice and wet. And then you're going to put the other end into the empty jar. Okay? What we want to happen is some of the red water is going to travel into the empty jar. The next piece of paper towel, you're going to start in the empty jar and then put the other side into the yellow jar. And so we're going to want some of the yellow to travel into the empty jar. It's going to mix with red and hopefully make a new color. So I'm going to tear up a few more pieces to get ready for my other jars. I don't like the way that one tore, so I'm going to try it again. My next paper towel, I'm going to put one side in the yellow and one side in the next empty jar. So we're kind of connecting them in a circle, making little bridges in between. The next one, we're going to put part of it into the empty and part of it into the blue jar. And what we're hoping happens here is blue and yellow come together to make a new color. Have two more to do. Next, we'll put one side in the blue jar and one side in the empty jar. And now we have one more to connect it in a whole circle of little bridges between our jars. The last one will start in empty and we'll go in red. And what we want to happen here is the red and the blue will come together to make a new color. Now you have your experiment totally set up. You want to let it sit for a few hours until the water has had a little bit of time to travel into your empty jars. You know that it's all done when your empty jars start to fill with a new color of water. So I'm going to let this sit and I'll check in later when my rainbow is ready.